This, however,
Food.
Oh man.
food.
Okay, well I'm
Food.
overridden food.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimi are here with our guest, Leifle from Cacophony of Games and Buttons. We're continuing the letter, in which Zach and Isabella are having a very cute bonding moment.
Sure you can. Come on. I think I know what we'll do with those spare ingredients.
Let's check the journal. October 25th. Come morning, Zachary received a phone call from Ashton, who was looking for Isabella. Zachary informed him that she stayed over and of the circumstances. Before ending the call, Ashton offered to pick her up.
Look at that bishy Ashton, though.
Dang.
He's just missing some sakura petals there.
Just need some sparkles, some little
Also,
translucent bubbles.
I'll put him in.
Get those shoujo bubbles going.
Isabella saw Zachary taking an unknown medicine and, concerned, asked what it is for. He admitted he's suffering from a trauma ever since his parents were killed in a hate crime. Isabella could only offer him a comforting hug. To lighten the mood, the two decided to cook breakfast afterwards.
despite the massive effort to keep the mood light with small chatter, cooking ends up being a mostly quiet affair. Between us, the consistent clapping of the knife against the board and the muffled noise from the television I left running, words have become surprisingly difficult to string together. Not entirely unusual, we've had moments like this before, but definitely unnerving with how things are now. I really wish someone else would come knocking at the door.
Regret that immediately.
Yep.
Yep.
As pleasant as this is, breaking the ice or keeping a conversation going has never been my forte. That has always been Isabella's or Rebecca's department. Sometimes Ash, although most coming from him border on awkward or embarrassing.
True.
Speaking of the guy, he never did call back, and I'm willing to bet my entire yearly salary that he fell right back to sleep after that call.
Sorry, Bella. Could you...
Yep, I got it. The potatoes are almost ready, by the way. I turned down the heat just in case. You might want to check on them, though. Hold on, I'll be right there. Sheesh, wait up. If you keep rapping at the door like that, you'll break it down. Ash.
Oh, good. You're awake.
Ash has already welcomed himself in when I take my eyes away from the oven.
What was that about? Regretting that immediately?
Regret now. He's never been really keen with the notion of courtesies after he's warmed up to you, this guy. All 13 of my logs he broke can attest to that.
What?
Wow.
What?
Hey, Ashton,
Wow, Ash.
maybe chill.
Yeah. Hope he paid to replace those.
Probably not.
He's a good fellow, though. That can
Careful,
break
Watson.
into people's homes. Maybe a tad bit standoffish at first glance, but he's trustworthy.
Hey, Ash, how'd you learn how to break down locks?
Don't you have work
I mean, it's a
today?
useful skill to have.
Truth.
I could ask the same of you. Hey, Izzy, man.
Christ.
Oh my
You're
god.
late. Something came up? You need to drop the Z-Man. It's getting old.
Sorry. I got caught with something at the precinct on the way here. Had to attend to that first before things got out of hand. I'd tell you about it, but you know how it can be with those kinds of things. Later, maybe.
And you're here because...
What? I'm not allowed to say hello?
No.
I doubt you're here because of that. And you're not answering my question.
Ah, my bad. Forgot to mention that. He called earlier looking for you. Rebecca's worried because you didn't come home last night.
You could have called my cell instead.
You weren't picking up. Anyway, I'd really hate to cut this little get-together short, but I need to be somewhere else. Come on, Isabella, let's get you home. I'll drop you off on the way.
Wait, we're going now?
He lightly claps a hand on her arm and begins ushering her out of the apartment, throwing a casual wave at me as they pass. Isabella, on the other hand, doesn't appear too fond of the idea. The food!
Yeah, the food. She's hungry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let her eat, man.
Just let Zach take her home. It's fine.
And sure enough, before they can even cross the threshold, she puts a firm foot down, the force alone enough to halt them both and catch the taller man off guard. It would have made for a funny picture.
Quick, take it. The camera's right there.
I know, right?
The way Ash almost crashes into her and Isabella giving him an indignant pout over her shoulder. Surprise and confusion are in his face all at once, two things that rarely ever grace it if he can help it. A rare moment even for our small group. If only I had my camera with me. Dang.
It's right on the
It's
table.
right there.
But it's like all covered and you know.
Yeah,
it takes too
no.
long.
What is it?
Zach cooked something.
If it's just food, I'll get you something on the way back.
But the food! It's Zach's cooking. Real delicious food that actually tastes like food. At least stay and have a bite, please. Zach, help me here.
Oh, Isabella, you're so cute.
Yep.
Shit.
Is.
These two. Whenever they are in the same room, sometimes it feels like herding a group of unruly kids instead of talking to two mature adults.
Ha!
One moment, they're engaged in a pleasant chit-chat, and the next, they're bickering over a minor issue. Food is not a minor issue, excuse you.
All right. Food is important.
Frankly, if I didn't know any better and I have an overactive imagination, I'd say there's something going on. Never mind how utterly impossible that idea is.
Dude,
Is it
you're
now?
Ashton's best friend. You should see
How is that an impossible idea? It was basically thrown into our face in the first chapter.
Yep.
Zack missed that moment. Or it might just be me reading too much into things like always.
Nah, they're hella hetero.
Mm-hmm. They
Mhm.
are. I cannot really hear Ash laughter if I so much as suggest such. You should try it.
More like bulking.
Yeah, I'd
just
be like,
No, no, there's no way in hell. You ever mention it again, Zach? I swear to God.
Oh,
I'll break the 14th lock if you mention it again.
Exactly.
This, however,
Food.
Oh man.
food.
Okay, well I'm overridden food.
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay. I've already made enough food for all of us, and it'd be a waste.
Oops.
Did that raise his relation with Ashton?
Yeah, it did. Because the white bar is where it started.
I think only a little bit, whereas if we had gone with the other option, it probably would have raised it more, and Isabella's only would have gotten a small bump.
They're already
Or it would
best
have
friends. It's
gone
fine.
down. So. Yeah, that's fine.
Why, I cooked up that special honey glazed ham you two keep on yapping about. Got some scalloped potatoes with onions and cheddar to go with it, too.
That sounds good.
That sounds so good.
This means we're gonna get a picture of it.
I hope so. Let's see.
The oven timer dings. I shoot the two of them an apologetic look before sauntering over the kitchen, mirrors in hand. The sweet smell of the glazed and salty tang of melted cheese wafts through the air as soon as I open the door and take out the two trays inside.
Mm.
The scent immediately fills the entire room, and even with the door and windows open, the mouth-watering aroma lingers. It's appealing enough that when I put the dishes down on the counter, another starved stomach protests loudly, followed by a burst of laughter.
Ashton's blushing.
My head snaps up at the two of them, and I can't keep back the smile at the sight they make. Isabella is clinging to the doorframe for support, doubled over with breathless laughter. Ash is the more composed of the two, trying to look unconcerned, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. It's clear whose stomach that came from, and Isabella's not going to let him live this down.
Good. You're in no place to reject an offer of free food, Frey.
I wasn't rejecting anything. Damn it, I just missed a meal, that's all.
Aw, he's flustered.
Shut it! Those guys at the precinct said it was urgent. Somebody has to be responsible for it.
Well, aren't you precious?
Right. You know, if you keep laughing like that, you'll burst.
I'm
And
sure
then
it
she
won't be
did.
as bad as your stomach suddenly rumbling like a starved.
Aye, kiddos, play nice. Food's gonna get cold if we keep this up. Ash, you gonna stay?
Might as well, since Scaredy Cat's so hell-bent on staying.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
Didn't Ash needed to go somewhere?
Yeah, but food.
Food.
Fair enough.
The dead body can wait.
We eventually settled down after the food has been served. The
Jibes.
jibes? The jibes replaced by another round of friendly chatter, mostly about what's on the news the night before. There is, however, a conscious effort to avoid mentioning what's currently on the headlines. The dead is never a good topic to talk over food and polite company, this case in particular. The wounds are too fresh, too soon. I'd likely avoid it as well if I were in her position, and someone I personally knew passed away in a gruesome manner like that.
I just want to point out that Isabella's plate is just freaking stacked up.
I was gonna say
Course.
something about that, about the fact that it's just hugely stacked,
Yeah.
but also the fact that the pill bottle is pretty prominent.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. But
Well-
also the fact that, like, Zach's face is just a mess. Everywhere. Like, Zach, come on now. I know it's good, but come on.
He's happy, okay?
Actually, I think Isabella is a little messy too.
I can't see that well because that one's blurry.
Let Zach be happy. God damn it.
Yes. Please. Though perhaps the closest we got to broaching the topic is when the infamous mansion is brought up again. No! But even then, we are careful, Ash and I. We keep the conversation light and avoid bringing up her late business partner. It's the less we could do.
The Wrights? Yeah, they're planning to move in soon. In fact, they already have a housewarming party planned. It's why they wanted us to rush the papers. They wanted to send the invitations out as soon as possible.
Oh, now I get it.
Get what?
Remember what I told you last night about the new clients?
Vaguely? Sorry. I was a little out of it yesterday. Was it the photo shoot?
Yep, it's actually for the one you sold. Something.
Ermagerd.
When you put it that way, I suppose it makes sense why my boss wants me to prioritize the couple. They can have those documents rushed at just a snap of their fingers. Then they're more influential than I initially thought.
Ermagerd, you're Slater.
Face buttons.
And I guess my boss is expecting a lot more from this project than I expected. Hope I can live up to it.
Your photographs are more than good enough, Zach. You'd probably win an international award if you let yourself. Ma'am Hana's easy to please, too. As long as you're good at following instructions.
Easier said than done. Different clients have different tastes, after all.
Still, a week? I don't think that's possible.
Now that you mentioned it, yeah. They wanted everything finished at the earliest. To be honest, it's not unheard of, but...
But it's still weird. Still weird, yeah?
Wait, what? What? Why?
Well, I mean, remember, he's definitely telling, I'm going to assume, Luke. So there's probably some information he has that kind of conflicts with the idea of them wanting everything getting done in a week.
Yeah, but why the
Yeah.
hang up on the word fish? Or specifically fishy?
Maybe he thought that would give away that he knows more about the rights than they do.
But yeah, because him showing up to the open house didn't give that away.
And then later the housewarming party.
Yeah, but that's in the future from this moment.
In the future. A slip of the tongue. Still barely noticeable to someone who's already familiar with Ash ways. Yet in this moment, it's impossible to miss. I shoot him a curious glance, but he ignores it. Rather pointedly.
Like his hair?
I can't exactly say it's like that, where I'm just the middleman after all. As much as I want to comment on it, I only know what's on the surface, not the in and outs. It's just that BRC and my boss are more hands-on with the legal stuff this time, despite having a separate department dedicated to it.
Maybe Mr. Wright helped with it too. They have their own legal team for this, don't they?
Well, they should have one. Especially for a big property like this.
They have, but like I said, it's off our hands. Rose and I don't handle this stuff in the office.
Mm.
If anything, to me, this just means I'll be able to send the rest of the funds to Papa's treatment earlier.
I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. Officially off our instant noodle diet, aren't we?
Ash, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny way of ruining the mood?
What? I was just saying. A few more months of stuffing your face with those, and I'm sure you'll start to look like a noodle.
Oh,
cup.
look at her face in the background.
Yeah.
And look at his face. Both of their faces changed.
And Zach's still eating happily.
Relatable.
That's a pretty picture.
At least I don't live off convenience store food. Or make poor, unassuming pressure cookers explode.
What?
Ah!
Oh, come on, Zach.
Ashton, how did you do that?
Sorry, it just came up while we were cooking earlier.
I'm impressed, Ashton Frey. You even made it to the news.
A one-time thing. and it wasn't as big as you seem to be imagining.
Oh, sure. Let's all pretend that one time you almost set my apartment on fire didn't happen too.
Hey, that was an accident.
You were making a salad, Ash.
What the fuck?
Is he a sim or something?
I think you're right.
I'm dying over
Let's
here.
move on to a different topic.
I've been laughing this entire time. I'm sorry. You nearly got her house on fire by preparing salad. That's something that only happens in The Sims.
It helps. The casual talk, the harmless teasing, the mundane stories interesting enough to let time pass unnoticed. By the time lunch ends, the shadows are no longer at the forefront of my mind. It feels the same for Isabella. For whatever troubles her, I can never tell. These things, the anxiety, the fear, they ain't easily seen, ain't easily forgotten after all.
You go on ahead. I've got a few things I need to ask Zach. I'll be downstairs in a minute.
Confusion briefly flashes in her eyes as she catches the keys to he tosses over, but he doesn't give her an answer and waits for her to go ahead.
How sure are you I won't be driving away with your Shirley?
You don't even have a license. Do you even know how to?
Papa taught me how. I'm probably a better driver than you. See you later, Zach. Thanks for the food.
Always has to have the last word, don't you?
You're welcome. I'll send you the recipe for the potatoes tonight.
And with that, we will wrap this episode up right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I should have done this before, but this game is a little weird. There might be parts that I will need to censor. I've not gotten very far in it, but it is kind of dark, I will say. I can't give too much detail into in what ways, but I think it could become evident pretty quickly. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. A mother loves her daughter more than anything else in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gouging a hole in your leg. All because you smiled at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it. You freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? You never listen. Serves you right for being the little slut you are. But you don't have to worry, my darling. It's alright. Even if the whole world wishes you dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side.
Well.
Yep. A very loving mother.
Yeah.